Did you have good family relationship? It wasn't a challenge for you to run a family as a truck driver?
You have your ups and downs because you're always gone. To have a good lady behind you to look after, especially when you start having kids because you're not home. And you get home on the weekends, well, all hell would break loose. You'd spoil them all the heck because you haven't seen them all week. And then the wife would be hanging you up because she'd have to straighten them out when you were gone. In the customs into Mexico, you're allowed to run a mile in, and it was a big open corral, and you couldn't touch nothing. They did all the work. And then they washed the trailer out, and you brought it back.
You're telling me all these facts and figures and stories. They sound very magical and they sound really good. But now you're telling me not now. Why not now?
Because of the traffic out there, people hate truckers. Look at all the wrecks, and it screws everything up. And it's week after week it happens. All the time now. It's not just once in a while. Back then, you hardly ever seen a wreck. And now with all the congestion and that, and more traffic and everything.
Was drug a real problem in the 70s in trucking?
It wasn't hard drugs. It was giddy up go stuff, right? To keep you awake 24 hours and you just go. It had different colors. You'd see guys at truck stops sometimes have them spread those. Well, here's a purple one for you and I'll take a red one. Oh, give me that red. You know, that's just seen that, eh? It did happen.
30 years ago, truck drivers were well behaved?
Yes.
And they're not anymore?
No, it's all changed since they come on board, and it's too bad. Like, why can't, when they come over here, drive like everyone else? Why do they gotta perform like they do? There's no need for it. Like, come on. And it's year after year you're seeing it, and it's getting worse.
Welcome to the Truck Stop Show. My name is Ali. Today we're joined by Fred, who has done trucking for many, many decades. Fred, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So, Fred, tell us about yourself and briefly about your trucking career.
Well, we started on the farm, and then we started hauling cattle after that in a small straight truck. Went on to tractor trailer, just running local, mainly hauling pigs and that. And then we got into hauling long distance. The first trip out, we ended up running team with a buddy of mine for the same company and ran out west. Always driven a day cab, never driven a cab over, Freightliner, anything cab over.
Even
with a
going out west?
sleeper. Oh, yeah. A cab with a sleeper, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we used to run out empty, pick up cattle, and bring them back into Kitchener. So I was always used to a day cab. And here we are, middle of a snowstorm, way up north. Hey, in the middle of the night, I get woken up. Your turn to drive. He stopped and crawls in the bunk, and he looks back.
So you mean to say not day cab, you mean to say cab over?
Cab over.
Correct, yeah.
With a sleeper, sorry.
Sleeper, yeah.
And he gets crawling back in the bunk, right? It's a cab over. And he points his finger and he says, "You put this in the ditch, I'm going to kick your ass," he says. Oh,
Who
my
was this
gosh. Oh, good friend. He's passed now. A lot of people know him. He really good guy.
Why don't you name him?
Brian Bowie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, super guy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's too bad we miss him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how we got going then with him.
Mm-hmm.
And
so no formal training, no schooling.
your schooling was on the highway with the old guys and that. You know, you teamed up with them, you did your local work, and you learned by that.
Mm-hmm.
Trial and error. But you didn't pull the crap that you see out there now. Why are these guys running so hard and so fast? There's no need for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Blows me away with the wrecks and everything.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about actually the focus of the today's show is where is trucking headed. But we'll get to that. But briefly, I just want to touch upon what have you done. So tell me, what have you hauled mainly? So you hauled pigs?
Hauled pigs, hauled cattle, hauled horses for quite a while too.
Mm-hmm.
Tanker, oversized. Yeah.
What's your personal favorite?
Cattle was good.
Mm-hmm. What's the hardest? We've been having this debate on the show. What is more difficult to haul among all these different types of loads?
Back then, when we hauled horses, because we could haul horses on a pot, right, upper and lower decks. And now they quit that. Everything's all on one floor for horses, to haul horses.
Oh, that's what the rule is now.
Yeah.
You can't have horses like cows on multiple.
No.
Oh, okay,
no.
I didn't know that. That's good to know.
No.
There's a piece of info. I learned something.
Well, the thing is, they're so tall, right?
Yes.
And they really sway. And, well, cattle does the same.
So you think pulling horses, well, it's not the case anymore, but they were difficult to haul.
Yeah.
And what about the heavy haul?
Heavy haul, well, you just had to really watch out because you were oversized with a heavy, right? You had escorts sometimes. We hauled those big tanks out of into Sleemans, the big stainless ones you've seen. We've hauled them, and that was quite a chore bringing those in. It was a real experience, real eye-opener too, so it was good.
Do you still drive, Fred?
Very little. I still,
Hold on to your license?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I still have it.
And how many years in total?
52.
52.
52 years.
So let's take you back to when you were a little kid. So I'm pretty sure you didn't plan to become a truck driver, right?
No, it started out, I was raised on a farm, not too far from here, actually. And we used to ship cattle and our pigs and whatever, right? And it come to the point where they asked me if, hey, would you like to drive for us and that? And we started out with a little straight truck picking up and that. And
Now, did you have any goals? Like, I want to be this, I want to be that as a child?
Not really. No, it just fell in my lap, sort of, and we ran with it. Never looked back.
But are you satisfied with what you did with your life?
Yes, very much. It was a lot of fun back then. You had a lot of fun, and you worked hard, and you liked it. You liked what you were doing. You looked forward when you got home. Hey, let's go. You couldn't wait to get going again because you knew a lot of people on the road. And back then, when you did the truck stops up through the north and out west, there was a book. You always signed a book to say, hey, you're going west at such and such a time and who you were. And that's how you kept track of everyone. And everyone kept track of you.
You know, when I first heard this, I was so fascinated by this. I mean, it was, it sounded so real, human thing to do that, you know, you're on this route and you just leave your information thinking that somebody that you know would come catch you kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
It is such a human element, right?
Oh, big time.
Life, people, brotherhood, right? It fascinated me when I first heard. For the longest time, I didn't know this. So I drove, when I started driving, the cell phones were there, but nobody actually had these, you know, unlimited datas where, you know, like the way it is now, that doesn't matter where you go with your phone, it's working. For example, there was a time I actually carried two phones, one for Canada and one for the US. But this is only 10, 15 years ago, right?
Okay.
And now people just have one phone, doesn't matter where they go. Even if they go to Europe, they use the same phone. So, but you can always, you know, connect with people, and, you know, you can kind of tell where you are and what's going on, and, you know, kind of talk to your friends. So Fred, so you fell into this and you said you enjoyed it. Did you have good family, you know, relationships, and it wasn't a challenge for you to run a family as a truck driver?
It was, you have your ups and downs because you're always gone, right? You have to have a good lady behind you to look after, especially when you start having kids, because you're not home. And you get home on the weekends, well, all hell would break loose. You'd spoil them all the heck because you haven't seen them all week. And then the wife would be hanging you up because she'd have to straighten them out when you were gone. So it worked. Been married 50 years, and it's awesome.
Wow, this is well said. So basically, you don't see kids for a week or so. You come back and you spoil them, but the next week, pretty much all week, the mom have to, you know, kind of fix them again.
That's right. Yes. Give them a little
funny.
discipline.
This sounds such a genuine problem. How many kids, Fred, you had?
Two.
Right.
2 and 3 grandkids.
Nice. And did anybody else in your family get into trucking?
My son, he's just driving now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Local. He's driving a dump truck.
Right. Your son is second generation. So were you happy when he got into trucking?
I didn't want him to do the long distance.
Tell me why.
You're always gone like I was. I wasn't there for baseball games and different birthdays and stuff. You're home for your Christmas, Thanksgiving, you always try to make it home. And a lot of the other stuff, football games, soccer games, you weren't there. I didn't want that for him to be out like that.
Did you listen?
Yeah, he did.
So now, Fred, the question is, if you tell, so you've done it all your life, when you tell your son that you can get into trucking, but you can't do long haul, so then who's going to do it? That's my question.
Whoever wants to, I think, like give someone else that wants to, I don't know. It's not like it used to be now, right? There's too much stuff. Remember back then, we had no logbooks.
I don't remember that.
No?
Well, I was on paper logs, but I didn't see the time when there were no logbooks at all.
Yeah, in Canada, there were no logbooks. We ran. And I didn't want him to be out and always gone, right? What kind of life is it? I knew what kind of life it is, but it was good back then. We made good money. And like I said, we had a good family life.
Mm-hmm.
If on weekends and when you are home.
Do you know what is happening in trucking right now, Fred? How much you know? I know you don't full-time drive anymore,
No.
but I'm sure because you've done something for 50 years, I'm sure you know what's going on in trucking right now.
Well, the rates are no good. The wages are no good. And these guys now that are coming, be it
So when you say these guys, you mean to say newcomers? Or anybody that is in trucking right now?
Well, anyone that's and newcomers,
Mm-hmm.
they're pushed and pushed, right? The company guy or the owners and that are telling, hey, we got to have this right here, got to have this right there. Well, you hurry up, you get there. Oh, you're 15 minutes late. Oh, you got to reschedule. Or, anything like that. It's not a healthy atmosphere anymore that way.
Mm-hmm. So, Fred, first of all, I had this question for a long time in my head. So let's say, what were the early days you started driving? Just give me the year.
Oh,
70s?
It would be the 70s.
Early 70s or
Yeah.
mid-70s?
It'd be about the mid-70s,
Mid-70s.
74.
Let's say I'm your dispatcher and I call you and I say, hey, Fred, I got a load for you delivering in Saskatchewan, right? And you leave here. Now, you have no cell phone. You have no Google Maps. You have no GPS. I'm sure you have paper maps, right?
Yep.
So now, with the paper maps, I used to do paper maps too because I didn't own a phone for a long time or GPS. The paper maps, I was fine to get to the city, whichever city I wanted to go to. But in the city, how do you operate? How do you find the exact address and location back then?
Well, usually you had a city map, like different places in Toronto or let's say Saskatoon or whatever. You got a city map. Or you did the old way, pull over at a truck stop and pick the phone up and phone for directions. That's
how you find it?
Yeah. It or if dispatch give you an address and roughly knew, or you knew a guy that you worked with, he's been there before. You would get a hold of him and he'd tell you how to get in there. But most of the time, if you didn't have a map from the city, you just stopped before you got in that truck stop and made a call.
I assume back then, when you phone somebody from a truck stop, it's not like what it is today that you like for example, if there's let's say 10 phone numbers in my phone right now, and you call somebody right now, only 50% of the people would pick up. And then 50% would later call me back on their own convenience, right? So I guess back then, because it's not cell phone, it's the landline. So I guess people always picked up the phone?
Yeah, because there was no saying who it was or whatever, right? And they'd pick it up all the time. You'd never get,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm not answering that. I don't want to talk to that person. You can't see who it was back then.
Yeah. So Fred, tell me, where have you not been in North America?
Up in Alaska, we had a chance back when we were hauling hazmat, and I got stuck down with a trailer down in Houston at LaPorte, Texas. and we ended up having need repairs, and I was getting to go back up north into Edmonton, and they were going to send me up to do hazmat way up in Alaska and work my way down, picking up at their facilities along the way. But never made it back up in time, so they had to put someone else on it, and that's the. That's
So you've been all over Canada?
I have.
So you've been to the territories?
Well, sorry, no.
Yeah. You've been to all 10 provinces?
Yeah.
Newfoundland?
We hauled back in the 70s, we hauled dairy cattle. Ran team with a buddy of mine, and we had an old cab over International and flea coming out the stack, eh? And there we were, ran Newfoundland and took a load of cattle over.
Uh-huh.
In Mexico, went into Mexico.
So you
with
drove
cattle.
into Mexico?
Yeah.
Like you've driven on Mexican land?
Yeah.
But isn't that like a challenge? Because I heard it's a different country, so you can't always drive with the same comfort as you drive in the US or Canada.
We didn't go far in. And what you see of Laredo and back when you seen, like from today till years ago, it was, I don't know, you weren't around back then. The border point was hardly nothing. And you just, where you went. Got
Even
through
to the US?
No, into customs, into Mexico. You're allowed to run a mile in. And it was a big corral, open corral, and you couldn't touch nothing. They did all the work. And then they washed the trailer out and you brought it back.
Mm-hmm.
But
And how was crossing into the US back then?
no problem at all. No problem.
So let's say
at
you're
all.
taking a load right now, and let's say it's your era, like 70s, early 80s, and you're crossing into the US from, let's say, Port Huron. And then, so you cross the bridge, Blue Water Bridge, and what do you face on the other side?
Inspections. We had to go through inspections back
Every time,
then.
regardless?
Yeah. They always want to inspect it. We used to run calves back then out of the Ontario-Quebec border down into Indiana quite a bit, and Nebraska, all over with baby calves.
Mm-hmm.
And every time you had to go in and they'd inspect the load.
So what kind of inspection? Like they test their blood or what?
No, just make sure they're healthy. Agriculture would come in, and the U.S. agriculture would
Long
come in.
delays or no?
Well, it could be an hour or 2 hours. It all depends.
Mm-hmm.
But it went fairly good.
But would you still give them like passport and stuff like that to get into the US?
I can't think we had we had passports, but I think no.
You just
It
drove
was fairly good, right?
in. Mm-hmm.
I think the odd time they might check you, but I can't remember back then.
Mm-hmm.
It's that good.
Right. Yeah. What's your favorite state to drive in? Or direction, more so?
Texas. Love running Texas. For a while there, I was running with a good friend of ours that owned a company. He still owns it, him and his boys, out of Kitchener. And I ran down to Brownsville, Texas. Love that. Went to one place by the airport in Brownsville and then went to the other side for the second. The Mexicans would meet you at the airport. They'd cross dock, and then you'd be on your way the next morning and pick up along the way.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So let's, Fred, talk about where is trucking headed now? How do you see it?
The technology is great in the trucks now, right? So that come a long, long way. Back in the day, all we had was rubber suspension or spring suspension. Our seats, we had no air ride. It was a shock in the middle of the seat, so when it would wear out or bottom out, hey, it would do a number on your back. Hey, we thought that was great. We're driving a big truck. No air conditioning. And at the start for a while, some were power or Armstrong steering. But where it's going now, who knows? They're coming a long, long way. Like, look at the Run, California. No drivers.
No, is it going the right direction or there's a lot of criticism on modern day trucking. Guys from your era, your time, think, or even people that are in trucking, you barely meet a satisfied truck driver these days.
I wouldn't want to be out there now driving a big truck.
See, Fred, that gets me. Like, why? So you're telling me all these, facts and figures and stories, right? And they sound very magical and they sound really good. But now you're telling me not now. Why not now?
Mainly because of the traffic out there. People hate truckers. Hey, look at all the wrecks, and it screws everything up, right? And it's week after week it happens. And it's all the time now. It's not just once in a while. Back then, you hardly ever seen a wreck, right? And now with all the congestion and that, and more traffic and everything, you're seeing a lot of these new drivers, no matter what nationality, it's getting worse. I don't know why they got to be in such a hurry. I wouldn't want to be out there. It's scary as heck. Even when you drive your four-wheeler down the 401, you wonder if that guy behind you is going to run you over. And you see them, right? Their feet up on the dash. They're looking at their phones. And they're going like hell. You see them out in the third lane. You see them out in the middle lane.
Truck drivers didn't do this way back?
You didn't see them drive like that.
I'm going to touch upon the topic of drugs too. Back then, drugs was a big problem, right?
Oh, Lord.
In 70s, 80s. Well, I want to talk about it. But before that, so you're saying, let's say 30 years ago, truck drivers were well-behaved?
Yes.
And they are not anymore?
No.
Right.
Not with this new bunch of, I want to say, immigrants. It's all changed since they come on board, and it's too bad. Like, why can't, when they come over here, drive like everyone else? Why do they got to perform like they do? Right. There's no need for it. Like, come on. And it's year after year, you're seeing it, and it's getting worse.
Right. The other problem is, and I am going to chip in this, I think a lot of people, when they come into the country, it's so easy to get the license. They get the license, but the problem is they don't even understand the infrastructure. So, how, for example, if I take you to Europe right now, and I understand you've driven 52 years commercial driving, and I'm sure you're driving cars much longer than that. You're a farm kid. You've probably been driving ever since you've been walking. But the point is, if I take you to Europe right now and ask you to go from one country to the other, you're going to struggle a bit because you know why? It's not that your driving is washing away. The point is because you don't understand the infrastructure fully. They're tighter. Their signs are slightly different. Their laws are slightly different. So the point is you would have some questions. You're like, okay, what is this? What is that? So same applies to anybody that comes into Canada. When they move to Canada, my only driving life is in Canada, so I can't really speak for this. But I do understand. I know people that came, for example, a good friend of mine moved here from England. And he comes here. Now, he goes into the drive test to get his license, and they're like, oh, you don't need to do the drive test. Here, give us the British license. Here, that's the Canadian license. No, because they have an agreement or whatever,
okay.
Right? So he got the license from Canada. Now, this guy has full G license from Canada. And you know what he says to me? He's like, can you give me some training? I was like, for what? He's like, well, I've been driving for more than a decade, but I don't understand where these cars are going. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, the roads are way big. He's like, I don't even understand, why is there 3 lanes or 2 lanes? He's like, England is usually very tight in comparison to this. And, I'm standing there and I kind of understand where he's coming from, right? So same applies here. So when you're coming into Canada, perhaps there should be some courses. At least I can design a course that I can explain people before I teach you laws, I think I should start running a course where I can, talk about infrastructure rather than the laws. But anyway, so back then, I want to take you. So that's a great point. I'm so glad you talked about this. Now, tell me back then, and this is a little bit for jokes and entertainment and a little bit for how far have we come, right? So no drug tests back then?
No.
At all?
No.
Okay. Now, drug was a culture. Sorry, go ahead. Finish your thought.
In the States, you would get caught at a scale or something. They always had I think they take a blood test or they do something for drinking and driving. Or
Oh, the blow, like
the blow thing.
yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
now,
But up here, no.
nothing.
No,
No, but
unless you got in, you know,
yeah, no, but now was drug a real problem in the 70s in trucking?
there was lots of it.
Can you recall some? I'm not saying you did them. I just want you to kind of recall them. What drugs were there?
It wasn't hard drugs.
Mm-hmm.
It was giddy up go stuff, right? To keep you awake 24 hours and you just go. And
What were the names?
it had different colors. You'd see guys at truck stops sometimes have them spread those. And say, well, here's a purple one for you, and I'll take a red one. Oh, give me that red. You know, that's, you just seen that, eh? It
Yeah.
did happen.
Yeah. And then, like, but you said they weren't. But was drinking and driving a big problem too back then?
If you drank, a lot of the guys, there was, but you never heard of bad wrecks. Guys drank responsible a lot of the times. And I'm not saying, you know, there were guys that went overboard probably, right? But you never heard of guys being so total on drugs or booze that they had a bad wreck.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But there sure was now and then, but very.
Fred, in the last, I want you to talk to the truck drivers that are on the road right now for briefly, and I want you to give your expert message or kind of an advice to the drivers that are driving right now.
Why are you so in such a hurry? Right? You had mentioned coming over from Europe and the roads and you didn't know how, right? Go with the speed, go with the flow. Like, there's no need to be out passing on hills, curves, or whatever. And up north, the same thing. If you're not sure, slow down. It's not going to hurt anyone. You just got to slow down. That's, you know.
Fred, I want to thank you for your time. And secondly, thank you for your service as a truck driver.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Indeed. Thank you for watching the Truck Stop Show. We are in a transitional period here, making some changing to the show. So we'll have this show out soon. Thank you for watching, and see you guys next time.